Feng Shui basically means wind and water. And the concept of Feng Shui is, regardless of the school, now I'm going to go over the three major different schools of Feng Shui, and there's no wrong school, it's just they place more importance on something else, basically. That'd be like saying, well, Shotokan karate is better than Taekwondo. No, it's not. They just place an emphasis on something else, you know. So, but the true concept of Feng Shui. Now, if you look at your Bagua, normally, whenever I've been called to do a Feng Shui consultation, it was normally for, and I did this in a square layout for you too. It was normally for money, or love, or health. Okay? Very rarely, except for a couple of times when I've done it for people who were from China, where the family ancestors area is extremely important to them. But normally it's for those three things. But to bring total balance, you should be enhancing all the life areas in actuality. But the true goal of Feng Shui is, and there's nothing wrong with saying I can't build a slightly wider and deeper stream of qi to go to the wealth area. There's nothing wrong with that. But the true goal of Feng Shui is if you balance and harmonize the energy in the environment, you balance and harmonize the inhabitants of the environment. That's the true goal, regardless of the school. Okay? So I'm going to briefly go over the three main schools with you because most people get very confused with Feng Shui because they'll buy a book from someone who is Compass School, like Lillian Tu, okay? And then they'll buy a book from someone who is Tibetan Buddhist Feng Shui, like Sarah Rosbach. And because the concepts are very different, they go, this is too hard, you know. So let's start with one thing that's very important. When you find one school that fits you, run with that school until you get a thorough understanding of it, and then you can kind of expand to some of the others. But the three major schools, the original school of Feng Shui was called Form School. And there's very few writers now on Form School because both the Compass School and Tibetan Buddhist School has incorporated it. But Form School went by the lay of the land around the house. Okay? Actually, Feng Shui started, and if you remember, I mentioned that the family ancestors area was very important to the Chinese, is that ancient Feng Shui masters would pick the time and direction and place in which your ancestors were buried. Okay? And to the Chinese, that was very important. I can give you a real good example of that. I don't know if I can fit this all here. When I lived in Albuquerque, I had a lady who was Vietnamese, and she said she taught at the University of New Mexico, and she said, we know Feng Shui works because it's in our history books. I go, oh, really? And she told me the story about in ancient times in what was then known as Indochina, which encompassed all of Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand. But anyway,